Welcome to episode number 27 of You or I Just Getting Started. It's the number one Rhody basketball hoops podcast, and that's by views and subscribers. I just want to let everyone know today that we'd love to have you hit that red button and subscribe. Also, if you like the show, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to leave a comment, we have Justin Mazzula here right over on the screen here. Just say hey to him. Now tonight, I'm absolutely giddy to have Justin Mazzula, one of the greatest Rhody basketball players on the show tonight, one of the greatest of recent time. I know you probably don't want to tout yourself, but is that an understatement? You have to be right up there as one of the greatest.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people that come before me that have came out of Rhode Island. The Barons, my brother in particular.
Yeah.
Ricky Lito, he came out of Rhode Island. He's a great player. David Duke. There's a lot of great players.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of thinking, maybe the last 5 or so years.
Yeah.
I
would agree with you.
But you definitely compare. And, the reason why I'm saying that is you won 2 state titles, and you also won Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Rhode Island. And being from your family, the Mazzula family, I call them the Hurleys of Rhode Island because I know you're very close to your dad. You told me that. And he accomplished so much. Your brother accomplished so much. And you have said that you're not trying to compete with them. You have plenty of time. There's a lot of different variables. People have different teammates, and you're fine with what you did. So if you had 2 championships and he had 3, you're both had phenomenal years. And then your dad, forget it. He's done it all, right?
Yeah. I think my brother had 4 and I had 3. I think my brother won 4 years in a row, and I was chasing 4 years in a row. And then we lost my sophomore year in high school. We lost to North Kingston, but we won my freshman, junior, and senior year.
Okay, well, that's it, Justin. I'm hiring my producer.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what I was involved in.
He's gone, Justin, and you know who he is? It's me. So I'm firing myself. But 4 or 3, 4 is amazing, 3 is amazing. That's just really what you are, is a player that makes other players better. And I've tracked you. Obviously, we're going to have some excellent bonus coverage after the show of your Hendricken days. There's a piece from Fox on you that we'll put on after we get off, and we'll encourage our fans to stay on.
How it panned out was, so I was sitting in my kitchen and I was looking at other schools to GA and stuff, and I didn't really I thought of URI, but when I emailed URI, I think I emailed the old Dobo that they had, so I don't think the email went through. So I was just I didn't hear from URI, so I'm gonna start venturing out to other schools.
That's funny.
And so when I was sitting in my kitchen, I got a call from Coach Ben Sander, and he called me with the opportunity, saying that they'd love to have me as a graduate assistant. And we communicated, and a couple of weeks after, I went in for an in-person interview. I sat down with Coach Miller. He sat down and explained to me expectations, what he would like from me and Andrew, obviously in that position, and what that role entails. And I mean, I being a competitor and always wanting to win, whenever Coach Miller speaks, it's like gold, and you always are driven to just continue to want to excel. And I think he was the best coach in that situation to give me that opportunity. So that's why I fell in love with that opportunity. But so then I sat down and I was like, yeah, I want to be here. Just from the culture and environment, from what I saw in 10 minutes, it really, yeah. There weren't many. I don't think there were many players around when I went in for my in-person interview. But I mean, just the way Coach was explaining how he handles a lot of things. I asked Ben a lot of questions on how the culture is and what to expect, and everything I heard matched kind of a lot with Vermont. and Coach Becker. So, and I know Coach Miller's past and his history, and I fell in love with that.
Was it a little intimidating? I could just put myself in there, and walking in there, Archie is only 40 something, 43, and he's already won a bunch of Atlantic 10 championships. He's been to the tournament. He was offered the job and took it at Indiana, one of the most prominent programs. I don't know. I might be bumbling a little bit. Was it for you? Was it intimidating, or you felt at home?
Yeah, I was slightly intimidated. I wouldn't say overly intimidated. I was just going for the interview and hearing out what needed to be done and what the expectations were. I didn't really overthink the situation, but it was kind of cool sitting down in his office because it's Archie Miller. So, and I love coaches. I love coaching. So to sit down with, I think, one of the best coaches out there, it was pretty surreal in that point in time. And then we talked business, and it was just like another casual day.
You must have a really cool office too.
Yeah, his office is pretty cool.
What is it that everyone just falls for with Coach Miller? There's just some magical touch that he has, and they gravitate to him. Even people that weren't part of, they were part of the old program. He kept, I think, 5 is a very good number. You hear teams like Wichita State, they lose 11 players, and he kept 5 really high caliber players. And
I think it's a lot of things. His success obviously speaks for a lot of it. But having a conversation with him, I think it's his, like, he doesn't sell you anything. He's always speaking the truth. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And I think as players, especially players that want to win, when they just get straight to the point, that's something that really helps him out. I think him explaining his vision and his culture and how he does stuff around the program, definitely as a player that wants to win, is most likely going to say, why go anywhere when I have everything I need right here?
yeah.
And of course, the support staff that he brings in and the assistant coaches that we have, everything fell into place for a lot of the players. And so I think, and just coaches, depending on who he speaks to, I think coaches just intent in everything he does. He does everything to the best of his ability. And I think you can tell that just by one single conversation that you have with him. And when he speaks to players, he speaks with passion and a vision that it's hard to really not want to buy into.
I hear that, and Hurley obviously had passion, but it was more obvious because of his reactions in person in his interviews and obviously in-game antics. We love Hurley anyway, but Archie Miller seems a little more composed. But I hear he has that fiery side. I've seen some video of him throwing down a clipboard when some players. So he's not someone that's going to just be a soft, easy coach. He's going to give you guys, he's going to make you guys play hard and mentally tough, from what I'm hearing from the players.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Two names that I know the Rhode Islanders know really well: Justin Mazzula, the former Bishop Hendricken star, and also Andrew Schrabitz, the star at Butler for a long time.
Yep.
Those got to be two really exciting additions for you.
I really fortunate. Really fortunate. It's very difficult, at all levels. Doesn't matter what level you're coaching at, is to get really quality people, in and around your staff, on your staff, but most importantly, guys who really can be able to look your players in the eye and help them, sometimes being on the floor, sometimes be it off the floor, whether it's, maybe it's watching a little video, or maybe it's just talking it out. But, the more of those guys you have around your players, the better. And these two guys, Justin and Andrew, both different time frames in terms of their careers, but both guys are like coaches, favorites. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter the coach that you've talked to that had them within their program or their organization. They love them to death. ultimate competitors. They won at an extremely high level. They were both coached by tremendous coaches, and they had great success. And now they want to get into coaching, or at least, move into this world, so to speak, on the other side. And being able to bring them in gives us such a boost as a staff, and it gives us such an advantage in terms of being able to help our players. So to me, very excited. I've had a lot of great, graduate-type assistants, graduate managers along the way. They play a vital role in terms of how we use them. And these two guys, being from pedigree that they have, I think can handle a lot. And I think both of them, regardless of what sort of road they want to go, whether it's collegiate coaching, NBA, whatever, they'll be there in short order. They're both very competent.
That's great, and I can attest to really, really high quality, classy young guys.
Well, I have another surprise for you. You had an excellent senior year at Vermont. You won 28 games. You won the conference title. Excellent coach, John Becker. And you had a tough first seed. You had to play Arkansas. And that game went right to the wire. And I'm going to play that. And please feel free to chime in on that, because there's just some great plays. And obviously I picked out a lot of things that you did. But let's see what we have here. I saw a game that went right down to the wire, lots of lead changes. The way you move the ball, you do so many different things. You're like a complete player. And we'll see that in this video. So let's start watching Arkansas, Vermont, first round.
Spread you out and then force you to make some tough decisions.
Shungu maybe should have kept going to the hoop on that one. Had an open path, I think. Instead, they bring it outside. It'll work. And a three goes. Mazzula. A lot of guys in the SEC this year. And Shungu almost threw it away, but nice job to pick up the slack. Mazzula got the loose ball and scored.
I just want to stop this, and I see a three ball, and then I see a hustle play. It looked like you were out of the play, and you got the ball back, and you just are very determined, and that's just your character, and I think it's going to come off on the players. We'll continue.
Because they run a free-flowing offense.
Mazzula missed, got his own miss. Davis, three, got it!
Wow.
Davis backing Williams down. Now he turns, thought he was going to take the shot. Instead, he got it to the baseline to Mazzula.
The ball and immediately run towards the basket. That means he if anybody knows it's off, that guy knows it's off.
In low, tough shot, and good.
Another point, and I'd like to get your feedback on that. You are for 6'3", you're a guard, you're listed as a guard. You look like a power forward on that play. You look like a kind of a wide body. You use the physical contact against the other player, and it helps you situate you. Tell me about your game in general. We'll finish this, continue, but I just wanted to stop here because I've seen a lot of great plays. I don't want to overlook them. What have we seen so far about Justin Mazzula as a player?
I think something that helps me look kind of good in these clips is that the type of offense Vermont runs, there's a system to it, and it's like, if you don't do this, then you do this. I think that's what helped me become a better player in my later years of college basketball, because I was able to stick to a system. And that's with the help of Coach Schneiden and Coach Kyle and Coach Chris and Coach Bryson, Coach Becker as well. But just the type of offense we run there is very systematic, and I think I fit well in a system. If I have to shoot a wide open three, I have to shoot a wide open three. To cut a back door, then I have to cut. If I have to hustle, I think just like the type of culture and environment Vermont basketball has is what evolved my game to be more efficient.
And tell me about the offense they run. It looks like they spread the court. They have an excellent perimeter game, and they get a lot of touches, and they move it around, swing it around both sides.
Yeah, it's a dribble drive with some differences, because we had Ryan Davis as such a good big that we were able to spread the floor 4 out, 1 in, or 5 out. and just go to work from there. So I think just how great Ryan Davis was helped us be a better offensive team.
Yeah.
Because big men couldn't really guard Ryan, or couldn't guard Ryan actually.
And then you had Shangu.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah,
He was something else.
he was a great guard as well.
He made
And
some plays.
and I think that's what helped the offense as well, because we had two great scorers that, like, it was very hard, because if we had a lot of efficient people around two great scorers, Finn, Isaiah, Robin was a great scorer, Nick coming off the bench, great scorer, AD, who got Sixth Man of the Year. Just a lot of great efficient scores based on the system. So it was really hard for teams to guard, because if you can't take away Ben, because then you have Ryan, and you can't take away Ryan because you have Ben, and if you can't take away those two, but if you try to, then you have me, Isaiah, and Finn in the starting lineup, and then AD off the bench. So it was very hard for teams to really scout that.
And you looked fearless. You looked like one of those upset teams. It didn't happen, but you played well enough to upset. They were quite bigger than you.
Yeah, I don't think they were bigger, but I don't think that's why we lost. Why we lost was we beat ourselves. We'd get down and dig ourselves a small hole. And it's kind of hard to do that when the team's ranked fourth in the NCAA, first of all. And second of all, when the team's from the SEC, you can't just have two bad possessions, turn the ball over, and expect to win first round. But I generally believe it really had nothing to do with them. They obviously were going to be an SEC team. They were going to hit their shots and they were going to defend. But it was shown that we can compete to the end.
Obviously, you're not happy with the outcome, but are you pleased? You were down by 2 right at the end of the game, and you personally had was that your best game in your career, possibly, or one of them?
Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah,
it was a close to a double-double. So
yeah, but you're out there to win. I just thought it was a really good game to show people who Justin Mazzula is and how he plays, and you did just about everything that a coach would want. And I think it's going to translate into Rhode Island, working with the young players. This has all the information. What about the transfer? You started at George Washington. You were pretty excited about going there. What was the reason for transferring? It seemed like a better opportunity, mainly.
Yeah, we just got a new coach, and it was just a better to just seek a new school.
Yeah, and you were just more than a basketball player. I'm seeing here, you had a 3.5 grade point average, so you're very strong in the classroom, and that was academics is very important to you. And we have some players coming in this year that are phenomenal students. So I think they'll fit in very well, and the culture there they'll definitely relate to what you did in the classroom. You feel that's the case?
Yeah, I believe so. And I think just the accountability that the coaches put on the players, I think it will enhance their academic performance as well.
What was it like playing and dominating at Rhode Island High School and playing for a team like Bishop?
I don't think it was just me. I think just the name on my chest, Hendricken, was the reason why we would get so much people to look at us in the community, is because Coach Gomes has first of all, I think he's on like his 20th or 21st state championship. So luckily I was able to step into a great culture and a great system to help me become a better player within the state. So guys obviously like Ricky Lito and the Barons and my brother, so many guys you can name from Hendricken, to pave that way, to help my journey and process a little easier. But yeah, it was great playing for Hendricken. Coach Gomes was very defensive minded, and I think that's why I was also attracted to Vermont, because Coach Becker is defensive minded, and I love defense, obviously. But also they're very two systematic programs as well. So you have to follow a strict schedule of culture and team and family and they both stood for the same things. And it was really cool to start off at Bishop Hendricken and then to end at a place like Vermont that was very much like Bishop Hendricken of the NCAA.
Your career stats were really strong, over 50%. 34% is great for 3-point shooting. That's a very good number, and average 7.8 points per game. Those stats are pretty solid. And
not the free throws. The free throws should be better, but I think my early years in college affected that number.
Yeah. What was the reason why in the early years?
Just confidence, and when you're younger in college without a lot of guidance, it's like everything's going 100 miles per hour. So while you're at the free throw line, you're trying to think about 2 plays that you have to run when you're on defense, and then what you have to run back on offense. So I think that was very tough on me.
Mm-hmm.
But once the game started to slow down and I got to Vermont, things started to get better.
Yeah, watching the videotape your senior year in that big game, things were slowing down quite a bit. That not everyone on the show is a basketball fan, and they're learning. What is it in the world of administrative assistant that you do? I'd like to know as well. I was on the team of Rhode Island as a manager from 84 to 87, and Tim O'Shea was the administrative assistant, and he had a phenomenal coaching career after that, and he was very well. Everyone thought he would have a great career. I'm sure they're going to have the same feeling for you, but what do you do as administrative assistant?
Well, obviously help out pretty much anywhere. So I'll watch a lot of film on recruits. I would help out. I would just be the helper to the assistants and whoever needs help around the office. So if a coach isn't able to work out a player, I'll work out the player for the coach, and then he just tells me what the kid should be, what the player should be working on, and what he wants to really target in that workout. I help players get extra shots up. Andrew and I just always helping around the office, film, stuff like that.
Do you have a previous relationship with Andrew? I know you're both from the same.
It sounds bad, but yeah, I really didn't know Andrew before.
Doesn't sound bad at all. It's honest.
Yeah, I didn't know Andrew before. He's a little older than me.
Yeah.
I continue to joke with him. I call him 30 years old. He's 28, but he's 28, but it's just a joke I have with him that
I hate to hear what you call me.
Oh, no, I would.
I'm 31, so you call me 31 plus 25, but that's funny, Dustin. And can you give us I know a lot of confidentiality, but can you give our fans anything to be excited about with this team, some of the players that you're seeing? I don't want to know, who's the brightest prospects, but what could we be excited about besides, obviously the work ethic and gelling?
I think the number one thing that's important is just buying into and believing in Coach Miller's philosophy and coaching strategies and his vision and plan. I think that's what it starts with, because he's gonna have the players on the court be ready always. We're all working in there. The assistant coaches, the support staff, everyone's working. We've worked this whole summer, and we're gonna continue to work. And I think there's a lot of players that will their strengths will shine, and their weaknesses probably won't shine, but everyone's doing their job to make themselves the best that they can be. I wouldn't really point out one singular person. I think we're all building to be the best that we can be when the season starts, and continue to be the best that we can be when March comes around. But the most important part is just believing in Coach's philosophy and his culture, because he's obviously proven that he can win.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows a lot. He knows a lot about the game. So yeah, just being patient. Winning isn't going to be. We're not just going to show up and become 25-0, but I think just one day at a time, one practice at a time, and it's going to be it's a process, and that's what process takes, is patience and time.
Well, just out of my perception and looking at the background of the players that have come in, we have Alabama transfers, North Carolina, Seton Hall. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the guy I know he works in an 8-man rotation, but I just don't see how we're going to determine 8 players, because every player looks like they have a shot of playing some major minutes. And it's a good problem to have, but do you see a lot of talent there too? That am I just going by the books and the star ratings and being a fan? But it looks like it's a tremendously talented team right now already.
A lot of great talent. There's a lot of great talent. A lot of players with great strengths. And that's for the players to decide. You can have a lot of talent, but what you do with that and how does it fit into the team to win is something that the players have to decide. And what you can do with your talent and how you can shape and mold your talent to where it's efficient and effective for the team to win will help you be in that 8-man rotation.
And, of course, we all love Ish and Sebastian and all the others that have stayed here, and we're pulling for them as well. And it's great to have them here. And we can't help but pull for them because we've seen them play. We know that they're already familiar to us, but
they're doing well. They're working hard. It's a clean slate for everyone. So it's everyone's doing the best they can do.
And Coach Miller said he likes Sebastian Swagger once. So, and I know about that because we watched him the whole season. He was on our show too. He does have a lot of confidence.
Yeah. And Bassie and I pretty much work out every single day together. So the swagger can only go up.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't want to keep you any longer. You've just been great. You've been a great guest and great for the fans and me to have. It's not, like I said, it's an honor to have you, and you're always welcome on here. Just pop in. I'm going to start doing some YouTube live, and if you want to just talk about something as the season goes on, we'd love to get your insight. But once again, thanks for coming in. I want to remind our viewers we're going to have some bonus coverage of your high school days. It's a great program. And obviously, it's always go Rhody.
Rams. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, Justin. Oh, what are we, 90-something days before we are? So the clock's counting.
It's been counting. We've been in the summer.
All right, super, Justin. Have a great night.
Thank you. You as well.
The Mazzula name is well known in local basketball circles. Joe started at Hendricken before playing at West Virginia, where he appeared in a Final Four. Well, now another Mazzulla is coming up the ranks. Younger brother Justin, who is already getting big-time D1 scholarship offers while leading the Hawks in the standings. JP Smallins has this week's Hometown Hero.
He's helped Hendricken grab the top spot in Division I. Justin Mazzulla's 14.5 points a game, leading his team to a 12-1 league record, a year after his efforts as a freshman helped the Hawks earn their 14th state championship.
I've been very blessed and very fortunate to have some very good players over the years, and I believe in time Justin will be right up there with our very best. His basketball IQ is tremendous, and it's still growing. He's got a good physical frame. He's a tall, strong young man who I think is really just scratching the surface. What I love about Justin the most, obviously, is who he is as a person, number one. Who he is as a student. He does tremendous in the classroom. And then as a player, he is extremely coachable. And he works hard. He gets after it. His potential is tremendous. And I believe he'll reach it because of his work ethic.
Talent on the court carried his brother from Hendricken to the Final Four with West Virginia. Joe Mazzula now in his second season as an assistant coach at Vermont State.
He always watches our game and always tends to text me and call me and tell me what I need to work on in the games and how my attitude's going. But I like the relationship we have as a brother to brother. More of the fact as a coach to a brother or a dad to a son. He kind of looks out to me as like I'm his little brother, so he's gonna look out for me. And I love having him as a brother. It's really great. It's great to have because basketball-wise, he really helps out a lot.
Justin's success has already earned him a Division I opportunity. Boston College offering him a scholarship during the summer in his AAU season. The Eagles, joined by PC, West Virginia, and Wake Forest, is the school showing him the most attention. And that's only expected to grow as his game continues to get better.
It did open my eyes a little bit, but I didn't want to get too open-eyed where I would just stop playing and stop working out. But I it felt great because I was like, wow, my hard work is actually paying off, and I didn't know how to really express myself at the moment, but all my basketball and teammates, they told me how to go through it, and they told me how it feels to get more offers and to keep on working and not giving up what I've been doing. My personal goals is to make the team better, make myself better, and kind of make the organization and us develop as a team more. I'm excited to go throughout the whole season and see how the end. Hopefully it ends as it did last season, but you never know. Keep on going out there and working hard, and I love my team.